Okay, so now we'll just do a couple of formations and layouts or setups, whatever you like. And to take them off, we're just going to release, 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 release. So there is quite a bit of stagnation around at your lower back, as you know. So, for example, let's just do the top first and then we'll come back to the bottom. But say, for example, I want to do a layout for the shoulders. I can keep this formation, which is down either side of the spine, and then over the trapezius crest, a little bit on the, this is sort of underneath where we've got the glenohumeral joint, but we've got teres major, teres minor here, supraspinatus, infraspinatus, and the deltoid. And so what I might do is, you can leave that formation on, you can add to it. Say, for example, we wanted to add a little bit to it. We can add here, we could add here, maybe here and here. So this is a really nice formation here for, let me just get the video up. There, it's a nice formation because what we've got here is rhomboids, the rhomboids, and like I said, over the terraces and well, around the scapulas, on top of the scaps, just the top of the latissimus dorsi here at the top, trapezius crest, deltoids. It's a nice layout, that, for shoulders and for that rhomboid. What I would then do is, if I'm going to work this side, so it's a good example, you can see it, is that I would then possibly take these lot off if I wanted to work through the rhomboid space, and take this one off as well, and then I'm going to release the trapezius crest. So the colours, let me tell you about the colours. So a pinky is normal and no stagnation. You'll see in the manual that you would have also seen like a sort of bluish, like more purpley bluish, and that's blood stagnation. When you see something that is a little bit more like really blue, then that's chi stagnation. So the more red it is the blood stagnation. And it's not to say that the blood's not moving, it's just to say that there's tension in the skin, in the muscle, in the fascia. Because what we're doing I mean, this one, for example, that you'll just see here, this is with a bit of blood stagnation, and then a little bit of blue here is a bit of chi stagnation. But if it goes away, it means it's just had the suction and it's flushed. It's flushed the skin and the fascia and the muscle. If it stays, it means and shows an indication that there was more stagnation there, and it will have shown that it will have moved it and agitated. That's what this is doing. And I'll show you as we move through that we're agitating. Here again, a little bit of chi stagnation, but it's disappearing and dissipating, although it's still a little bit bluish, which shows more chi stagnation than blood stagnation. Here, this like purpley red here, that's blood stagnation, but it's also disappearing as we speak. So that's what you're going to see, is you're going to see that it looks very red because it's been pinching it basically, and then you get a nice flush. This one's going down completely, so it shows that there was not as much stagnation as there is here. And this is where, again, it's going to mark because it shows that it's agitated the blood capillaries there. So that's what that is. I'm just going to pop one of those back on, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to massage with them. So we're then going to slowly, nice and slow. If you know, it's not wrong to do it fast, but I just think the slower, it's more comfy. And we're going up and down, up and down. You can, if you wanted to, do this bilaterally. So you would take off both sides and work bilaterally. If it comes off, which it does, you squeeze, place, release. And what you can often get here when we're doing this sliding technique, the massaging with the cups, is you can get what's called petechia. And petechia is a reddening where it looks a little bit like, let me just see if it comes up. There's a little bit of petechia here, actually. Let me just continue. You'll see it develop. I can't quite, hopefully this camera's right on it. But you'll see here, this sort of, it's almost like the sha from gua sha, is that you're getting this petechia, which is a sort of reddening, little sort of what looks like, again, burst capillaries, like a little blood rash, if you like. This is called petechia. And what this is just minute bursting of the capillaries to make a micro trauma, to improve circulation and to repair the little micro traumas of the cupping, but to boost circulation of blood and qi. And it also works on lymph, because we're working on the skin and superficially it's working. So you could in fact work round as if you're going to the lymphatic nodes here as well. Mostly cupping is used for myofascial release and fascia, blood and qi movement of the skin and muscles as well. So instead of pressing and compressing, we're sucking up. So you can see here, the suction creates this blood flow. So this, again, if it's marked, it just shows there was quite a bit of stagnation there. Yeah, and if it goes back to being pink quite readily and quite happily, there's quite a lot of stagnation here. Sometimes you can see like little pitting, and little pitting might mean there's a little bit of toxicity, and not toxic like, ooh, you're so toxic, but just a bit of metabolic waste in there as well. So sometimes it, you know, helps the lymphatic system to release any metabolic waste and any sort of pathology within the blood. And so, yeah, this is fine. These might mark actually, because they're not going away immediately. These might mark, but this is showing blood stagnation. So whenever there's muscular, you know, especially people who are strong or who are athletes, my guest here is a fitness coach. So she'll be doing lifting a lot. And it's not to say that it's bad. It just means that perhaps we need to be stretching more to get more blood flow. And this is, again, you know, people who are very strong and very tight often mark more than people who are not. So this is not alarming to me at all. And in fact, there's some old cupping here that's been here for a few days as well. So these are going away. So just to show that there's no stagnation here at all. These will return to normal, but some of these definitely will mark. So when you're working with cupping, you can use the large cups or the small cups, and you can come all the way down, squeeze, place, release, just to come back on. Just make sure there's plenty of oil on so it doesn't drag or feel horrid. Put this down. And then we can go and do the other side. So we've got a cup here. So you can either release them just with your finger. You can see it's probably better to do it that way. Or sometimes what you just see me doing is where they're on, I just squeeze it and it releases it. Well, we do tell our guests that they must warn or notify if they're going out for dinner in a backless dress, because that's not good. Or unless you'd like to feature your back looking like that, which is, as we know, can be quite a trendy. Oh, this one's really dark. Oh my goodness, let me show you this. Oh, okay. So this is a perfect example of, this is quite strong. It's more congestion, I would say. This is congestion rather than stagnation. This one here, this really deep bluish red. This is definitely going to mark. So when I see that, I'm just going to say this is dead. Now, what it's not a bruise. There's no rupture, there's no hematoma, it's not a bruise, so I can press it and it doesn't feel like a bruise. But what we've got here is a lot of stagnation. Are your shoulders usually quite tight?
Yeah, and yeah. That one is, I've been sleeping on it, so it's tighter.
Yeah, so what is showing here? And some people might be more prone to marking than others. You know, it's not terrible, this, and it doesn't mean like, ooh, it's so bad. But what you can see here is that there's a lot of blood and qi, mainly blood stagnation here. So muscular tension. That's what that would indicate to me, is muscular tension through here. And like right at the top there as well. It's right in here as well. So where you find the adhesions, you go in over the adhesion. And so if there was an adhesion, a lot of the time at the top of the levator scapula, the levator scapular attachment to the superior angle here, is that we would go all around there or possibly leave a cup on it. So wherever I find those adhesions, those knotty areas, I put a cup over it and then leave it, do some more static cupping on it, and then some more massaging around it. But yes, this is going, your back's going to look a little bit jazzy, shall we say.
Right.
So I'm going to leave that here. I'm going to just come up and just careful of your mole there. And then this one, yeah. So this side is much more stagnated and stagnant, and this is congestion here. Yeah. So the good thing about silicone cups is we're not going to cause any blistering. Sometimes with fire or hand pumps, it can be way, sometimes the hand pumps can be really, really tight and it can cause lymph blistering. But that's not the case with silicone. They're actually nice and gentle, even though you can see that they suck up quite significantly. I don't know if you can see that there. I'm just showing you there. You can see how significant that is sucking up. Let me just double check that I've got that. Actually, no. There. Can you see? So you're a good example, dearest guest, that this is how cupping is really good. And we would know that with this sort of cupping, our guest would feel they could feel quite tired or a little bit depleted, or opposite, could feel quite energized and uplifted, because it's moving blood and it's moving chi. It's really sucking and squeezing rather than the compression, so it has a much stronger application. Okay, so this is really great, and these haven't been on for a long time, but they work so efficiently. Come over with a little sweep here, and also, to be fair, I would use my gua sha as well. So I would get, let me just show you that as well, just as a sort of additional piece of information, is that with something like that, I would move the cups out the way. And then I would just use my gua sha and get a bit more circulation going on with the gua sha. This is a really nice tool. It's really thin, stainless steel, nice and thin. And then, as I'm an acupuncturist as well, I would ask and request that I put, a couple of needles in there as well. I would just put them in and out, twist them in and out, and that would be it. But your shoulders will feel much better after this. That's for sure. Good. Okay, so that's just a little demonstration. Let me just pop that here. And then working with the lower back, I'm going to come back to over here, because with a low back treatment, there. Let's see if I can raise you up a little. No, I'm not going to. If I can easily raise you up, let's see if we can do that. Yeah, be a bit better. And then point you down, and that's maximum. Anyway, that's good. You'll see what I'm doing. Okay, so then I'm going to move to the low back. And we can start just by sacroiliac, fantastic, and one just right on the centre here of the spine, which is fantastic in Chinese medicine for the governing vessel. We can put right on Ming Men, really nice, gate of life. And then I'm going to come out onto what would be, and moving down towards the piriformis. So we're making a nice layout and formation. Probably come right down here to coccyx. come out here a little bit more. Yeah. Just going to switch this one out. Put a larger one there. Here. Come to the side and pop that here. Yeah. So a nice formation here where we are sacroiliac joint and along the piriformis. And you could, you know, with more cups, you can then sort of go, oops, let's go here. Sorry, moving you around. You know, you could do the governing vessel, yang, qi, if you needed to. I'll just place them there. Little press. How are these feeling?
Yeah, they're good. I fitted it at the bottom more. Yeah, I definitely like the bottom piriformis bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you want, you know, we could go, you could cup all the way, you could go right into the glutes as well if you wanted to. You can go into the glutes there. Often with a bit of sciatica, you can, you know, cup right in there. And then cup that over. Lovely.